Welcome back to the season preview for the Kellogg's Nutri-Grain IronMan series, as we look at some of the leading contenders for this summer. 7 times Australian Ironman champion Kai Hurst has long been a pin-up boy of the series.
I'm super excited about the season, to tell you the truth. Looking forward to it, even though I walked away last year with my head down, but at the same time I walked away with my head high. A lot of positives out of last year, and I seemed to build on momentum last season. The start wasn't so good and I got better and better. Look, to tell you the truth, I haven't cut any corners this season. I've done everything I possibly can, and if I get in there and I don't show any form or I don't show any results, well then that's my own fault at the end of the day. I've got no excuses come that first race.
Kai's been the benchmark champion of swimming in the Ironman series, but he has not restricted himself to this alone.
Just before 2004 Olympics, they announced that the 10 kilometre would be introduced into the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, and everything just lit up. My world changed. I had always dabbled in open water swimming prior to that, and I thought for me it was a perfect crossover from Ironman racing, someone that had spent his whole life in the ocean and open water. And yeah, here I am now, 2011, about to head to 2012 London Olympics.
Before London 2012, Kai has a huge commitment to the Aussie beaches and capturing another Nutri-Grain Ironman series title.
I can smell it. It's there, it's in front of me. I see glimpses of the level I was at. The fire in my belly hasn't gone down. I'm still passionate to race, and I guess until that day where I pull up and I go, whoa, I need to go find something else. I've fallen out of love with what I do. Well, until then, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Formidable and awe-inspiring. Perhaps the fastest man ever on the sand. Zane Holmes has had the DNA of Ironman racing passed on to him.
It goes back to my dad, who actually won the first Ironman race held in Australia. I think it was in the mid-60s, and I'm pretty sure it was just a swim and a board. There was no ski involved back then. And then he went on to win this Queensland Ironman title in 1969. I've got 2 older sisters who kind of followed in Dad's footsteps, and then I really didn't have a choice. Highlights for me, obviously, winning the major titles. I've won 2 world titles, Australian title. I've won 6 Queensland Ironman titles, and the Kellogg's Nutri-Grain Ironman series 5 times. And I won the Coolangatta Gold back in 2006. So no one's actually ever done that before. Won all the major titles, including the Coolangatta Gold. I'm the first one to do it. So that's probably my biggest achievement, I would say, is being able to lay claim to all the majors.
But a nagging back problem has stemmed the flow of trophies.
It's been an injury that I've had for probably 10 years now, and it's just progressively got worse over the years until 2 years ago I had to have the season off completely. I went under the knife and had the surgery on the bulging disc, and it was successful, but the lingering injury is another bulging disc that I've got.
Recovering from injury as the season kicked off last year, Zane got off to a poor start, but some great results at the back end of the season have really lifted his spirits.
I won in the big surf in Portsea, and then I won a week later in the dead flat at Noosa. So it was a huge confidence boost for me to know that I've had a year off and I can come back and match it, or even beat these guys that have been at their peak over that period. And it tells me I can do it again.
A pure champion, just like his brother, but then also quite different. The Eckstein name is very much a part of the surf lifesaving scene, and this year's 5 times Coolangatta Gold champion Kane Eckstein wants to add the Nutri-Grain Ironman title to his own trophy cabinet.
My dad lifeguard at Curra Beach for 23 years, and I remember just being down the beach, holding onto his back, catching body surf waves and, everything like that. And I've seen newspaper clippings of him training and being in the Gold Coast Bulletin and doing stories about him, and I know he was, you know, had a lot of history in the sport, and my family has a lot of history in the sport. And then growing up, that's all we've ever done. I've never done really anything else, so it's just stuck through, and I know that's what, you know, the Eckstein family's meant to do. The Coolangatta Gold's always going to be my #1 event. Now that I've won it 5 times, it's become a bit of me, and you know, I put so much pressure on myself to do it, and it's just such a great feeling once you do it. You never get sick of it, and every year, you know, as I said, you never get sick of it. It's just such a tough race to do. But you know, this year it was a little bit different. Being sick and sort of getting through that made this year really, really enjoyable as well. So hopefully I can sort of shrug that off and, you know, get back to full health.
Even after winning the gold 5 times, critics still believe that Kane's status as an Ironman will not be complete without a series win under his belt.
Oh, I think it's a different race. I think those guys could do the Coolangatta Gold then and try and beat me if they want to say that. But having done what I've done in the Coolangatta Gold, it puts me in good stead for the series, and there's no reason why I can't, you know, win a Nutri-Grain Ironman series one day. But yeah, I'm just trying to get there at the moment.
Pretty in pink, Matt Poole's link to breast cancer research has made him stand out in the field. But his performances last summer are worth just as much attention.
A few highs and lows last year. Fortunately, there was I think the highs outweighed the lows, which is always a tick in the box. It was good for me. Going into the first round, I was a little bit nervous, and I didn't know what to expect. The first round is always the most nervous because you don't know what everyone else has been doing and where they're at. And for me to get on the podium in that first round was sort of a good release of energy and a good, I guess it gave me a bit of a confidence. To get a win in the second round was my second ever win in the series, and you know, it's been a long time between drinks and you always want to celebrate a win.
He has been the dominant performer today. Matty Poole will take out Bondi, and he is pretty in pink. Unbelievable.
I guess I sort of wanted to go out there, you know, make the haters mad and the critics sad, so I went out there and did that at Bondi, and that was a big wrap for me. I know where the benchmark is, and I'm not quite there. I've still got, you know, maybe more to give. I want to go better. I mean, I was elated with getting second last year in the series, but second's not winning, and I want to win. That's what I'm here for. So at the end of the day, I want to be #1, and I don't think I'll stop until I get there.
He's known as the Professor, the boss, but more than anything else, he is the champion. From humble beginnings as a surf lifesaver, in his mid-teens a future champion emerged.
It started to become a lot more serious when I was about 16 years old. I'd gone through the cadet ranks then, and that was the under-16s, and I wasn't winning every race, or I wasn't up the front every race or every carnival, but I was one of the smaller guys. But as soon as I got to sort of 16, 17, I started to develop a bit more, started to get a bit bigger, and I started to win a few races. So I realised that I could make it in the sport, and that was something that I wanted to do, and I sort of had to put in the hard work and the discipline to get there. I'd come onto the scene, I think, early 2000s, and Kai Hurst was dominating the sport at that time, and he's a fantastic swimmer and the best surf swimmer that we've seen. But I think I brought a lot into the transitions, whereas the running in the Ironman used to be, might have been a rest. Now it's not. It's full pace, and it's a leg that you can make up ground. It's not a rest anymore. So I think I brought the run and a bit of the board leg as well. So having Kai there to improve everyone's swimming before me was great, but then I think I brought a little bit extra to it and raised the bar for the other legs.
There's always talk about differences between Shannon and his Ironman brother Kane, but very few mention the similarities of these two tough competitors.
There's not much difference. I think people think he's the endurance person and I'm the sprint person, but I don't think it's that way. The reason I don't do Coolangatta Gold is because I've got some problems in my calves that I can't do it. It's not because I don't like the 4-hour race. And Kane can do sprint formats. He finished 3rd at the Australian titles last year, so I think that's a bit of a myth. We can do both. We train really hard. We prepare well. I'm probably think about things a lot more than Kane. I might think about the surf conditions or think about my board or ski or paddle, whereas Kane probably just goes in there and does it a little bit more. So I've got a university degree and he doesn't, so that might be the difference.
Coming up, what it takes to beat the boss, and Guy Leach takes a look at the changes to the competition, the beaches, and we find out why the athletes love their lives as Iron Men and Iron Women.